Bitcoin's price was under 1 cent back in 2009. Today, we're going to look at what's really likely to happen by 2025. What if you could see what the price was going to be into the future by knowing what happened in the past? But we're going to break down Bitcoin's price analysis for the last 13 years and look at what's highly probable this year, 2023, 2024, and at the end of 2025. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight in. So what we have in front of us is Bitcoin's weekly chart. And I've gone to Bitstamp because that's the longest existing Bitcoin exchange and looked at every single price point for the last 13 years at the end of every year. And we're going to break this down in simple terms, but what you're going to see is when it first launched in 2009, January 2009, it was actually 0.001. 2010, it flew up massively, right? It was only 30 cents, but percentage-wise, it was massive. Then it was $4.73, 13, 700, 300, 400, 900, 13,000, 3,000, 7,000, 28,000, and end of last year was 46,000. Like, okay, can we learn anything from that buying and selling behavior? Is there any pattern that tells us what is likely to be this year, end of December, but more importantly, 23, 24, 25 at the end? So what I've done to simplify this is I've put it into simple terms on a nice Excel sheet. Now, just to clarify what I have over here, so I've spent all morning on this, is we've got the date over here, we've got the price of Bitcoin, we've got the percentage change. I've just made it clear if it was an up year or a down year. And what we saw and what we can see as a pattern is it was up for 3 years and then down. Up for 3 years and then down. You know, I used to be a math teacher, right? Always looking for patterns, right? So we got this one here, up for 3 years. And then we had a down year, which is to this year. And then guess what? Is it likely that we're going to be up for the next 3 years? Well, if the pattern continues, which is likely on some kind of degree, we're more than likely going to see something similar. But what we're going to do next, which is going to blow you away, I've been working on it all morning. I've just taken some of the average numbers. On the first up year, I've taken some average numbers, that's basically going to be this year, and I've just projected them forward of what Bitcoin's price is likely to look like. So let's pop it in. So I can now switch this on. And by the way, if you want this Excel sheet, I'm going to make it available to my private community, because what we're going to do, we're going to put this up here on, and it tells us in advance Bitcoin is likely to end at around 16,200, which is currently like where we are right now, right? So that seems to be pretty accurate. But now we're going to switch on 2023, 24, and 25. But before I do, we've just launched our trend identifier. I want to share this with you, which allows you to make more money from the markets by reading the trend and only trading in the direction of the trend itself. It's a £1 30-day trial and then £9.97 thereafter. Community is loving it. We just launched it. We're working really hard on this. And it's breaking down what is normally complicated into simple terms. But more importantly, you'll also get an invite into my private Telegram community, where I'm actually going to post this later on today, this actual Excel sheet that I've been putting together all of this morning. So now let's look at 2023. Now again, take this with a pinch of salt. What we're doing here is just modeling, taking the past data and just taking the averages and baking it in to this formula to see what is likely to happen. So in 2023, if I just switch this on, is likely in 2023, if the pattern continues, we're likely to see Bitcoin's price in the 26,000 range. You know, could be much higher, could be lower, but thereabouts if the pattern continued, right? I go, that makes sense. 2024, before the Bitcoin halving or thereabouts, or just after the Bitcoin halving, we're talking about an $83,000 Bitcoin if the price continues, if the pattern continues. So this is what this is. It's talking about a 2x of the former year, and this will be an all-time new high. And if we look at this from an adoption cycle, this is market capitalization coming into the market, it looks to make sense. You know, we had this massive adoption over here. This over here was also similar, by the way. Then we had more adoption over here, and then the next adoption cycle. But what's really blowing me away is when I'm doing this morning, whether it's going to happen or not, we don't know. It's speculation, but it's based on averages of the past. Is a major bull market tends to occur 1 year after the last Bitcoin halving event. And the next Bitcoin halving, which is basically every 210,000 blocks, every 10 minutes, Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin that's released every 10 minutes, literally halves. It's baked into the protocol. And a bull market tends to occur the year after, which is 2025. So what is 2025 looking like, and does it coincide with, again, I'm just taking the averages. Let me just show you what I did, by the way. I'll show you the formula if it lets me. Yeah, it does. Basically, I'm just taking this number, and basically adding them together and dividing them by 2, and it gives us the number that we have, right? Which is 700% growth. Because the former ones was 1,300 and 300, and the average is over down here. So let's just switch this on and see what it looks like, right? Let's just see. It's going to be pretty aggressive, right? Check this out. Bang! Jesus. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know, but I thought it was just interesting data analysis where we can look at this. And if the pattern continues, we're probably going to have 3 years of growth. So this year was a down year, but look at the pattern. It's like every 4th year is a down year. Every 4th year is a down year. So we had 2014 as a down year, 2018, and then 2023 or 2022. And then this price, by the way, is so big we can't see it. Let me pull it in. I need to just quickly pop this on headings, and then I can make sure. There we go. There you can see it there. All right, so it's $663,000 Bitcoin if the sequence continues. But what I found very interesting is this could be a nice insight for us that the next year is going to be an up year, and then an up year, and then 2026, prepare for a major down year, which seems to be the case and correlating very, very nicely over here. So what do you think? Bitcoin, is it going to follow this pattern? We know it's a down year already. It's unlikely to exceed 69,000. We're in December right now, so it's unlikely to exceed that amount. But what do you think? Is it gonna hit? Are we gonna be more bullish than 2023 hitting 26,000? I personally think so. I personally think we're probably gonna hit, maybe retesting the top at some point, but we might have a pullback in between. Because remember, this chart and this data is taking the price at the end of the year. So even end of last year, on December 31st, the closing price was around 46,250, but the high of the year was 69,000, right? So just take that into consideration as well. So very interesting indeed. So we might be at the bottom of Bitcoin, and for a 3-year bull trend, which is what we normally have, with some ups and downs in between, so it won't just be in one direction. So there you have it. So check out my trend identifier. You also get added to my Telegram private community where I'm going to add this spreadsheet so you can play with it as well. I've kept it as simple as I can, but just to give us a nice feel of what is the price of Bitcoin likely to be at the end of 2025, 2024, 2023, and we're pretty much at the end of 2022, so it's in that range already. But we could have projected that at the beginning of the year, knowing, and it seems to be playing out quite nicely, that it's going to be around below the 20,000 range. So again, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's finish with a quote from my book, which you can also now download for free on my website, r15finance.com. We're going with Confucius. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. It's the same with Bitcoin. It started with 0.001. Someone Satoshi bootstrapped a currency, blockchain, crypto, and now it's given birth to Web3, where we can own the assets without a middleman, which is just phenomenal. And the technology is phenomenal, and it's going to revolutionize the world more than the internet itself, because it's the next layer of the internet. So everything hangs together with the money pouring in. And right now, we're at the worst of times in terms of what the market feels like, but it looks like 2023 will be a good year, but 2024 will be a great year. And then 2025 may be a phenomenal, fantastic, super duper year. And if that's the case, we want to prepare now so we know we can leverage the markets over the next 3 years, but knowing there'll be ups and downs in between.